Hello everyone, welcome to Beyond Events with Dawat USA. I'm your host Manu Mazum Khan and I'm very excited to be here with you all today and our very remarkable guest. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is a very inspiring entrepreneur and the creative mind behind a remarkable ice cream venture called Pazzees. We have with us today Miss Pazirish Mirza. Hi Pazirish, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you, Manu?
I'm good too and I'm very delighted to have you on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, Pazirish's journey into the ice cream world is definitely an inspiring one, and we're going to be delving deep into her sweet successes. And therefore, the theme of our podcast today is very inspiring, and it is scooping success with Pazirish. Are you excited?
I am.
Great. So, Pazirish, our conversation today is going to be revolving around your entrepreneurial journey, the sweet memories that you've sort of made through running your homemade ice cream venture. And, after we're sort of done exploring the present, we're going to be delving deep into what we have in store in the future for Pazzees. So, shall we begin?
Sure.
Okay, so the first question that I have for you, Pazirish, is can you tell our listeners a bit about yourself and how you got started with Pazzees and what sort of inspired you to start an ice cream venture from home?
Okay, so I am a student currently. I'm in my fourth year at IBA and I started my business back in 2020, which was during peak COVID. I think like everybody else, I was just very interested in experimenting in the kitchen and I came up with this recipe for ice cream and I remember my ice cream bana ke I just left. I left it in the freezer and I went out and my brother tried it and he was like, he loved it. So my brother is a big foodie. And he was like, why don't you start a business, like an ice cream business? I didn't really think about it itna deeply, but I was like, yeah, sure, that's not such a bad idea. And then I started experimenting more and more in the kitchen. I tried perfecting the recipe. I figured out the logistics and here we are.
Well, that's amazing. And I feel like Pazzees has sort of established itself out there in the market and people know what Pazzees is now. So, yeah. And Pazirish, now, like, moving on, I feel like my question to you would be what makes Pazzees stand out from other homemade ice cream businesses? Because, again, in today's world of competition, there's a lot of ventures out there. So, what makes Pazzees stand out particularly?
I think in terms of like the ice cream, the quality of the product that I'm offering, everyone's always like, my texture is quite different compared to the ice creams that there are out there in the market. Or like, अक्सर मेरे customers बोलते हैं कि like this is not like we've never had ice cream like that. Like flavors होते हैं, बहुत flavors होते हैं. Ice cream का बहुत competition है. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean when it comes to the texture and the flavors also, flavors in the sense that I offer a blend of flavors. It's not basic chocolate, vanilla,
right,
strawberry.
Yes.
So it's usually a mix of two flavors or something like that. So yeah, I think that's what makes Pazzees stand out.
Oh, that's amazing. So, Pazirish, your business's like social media presence has been like truly captivating. And even when I was researching, like I saw how you use, platforms like Instagram and Facebook to sort of leverage them. So, Pazirish, can you share some insights into how you use platforms like Instagram and Facebook to sort of engage with the audience out there for Pazzees?
Okay, so obviously I take a lot of pictures. I put in a lot of effort in what gets posted on my feed. The ice cream should look very yummy, should look appetizing. But apart from that, I leverage a lot of influencer. Like I, especially during my initial years, I focused a lot on influencer marketing and not like the paid influencer kind. It was mostly a very like, I'll send you my ice cream. I want you to honestly tell me what's wrong with it. And I want you to give me like proper feedback. And that always worked for me because I knew that I was confident in my product and influencers obviously used to rave about it. And I think that really helped me with the promotion bit. It helped me get to the right audience. So I think that was the number one thing. Apart from that, yeah, I think the aesthetics of how the page looks, I think that really matters. I have like different highlights for each and every flavor, like reviews, so that it's very easy. I want my page to be very easy for everybody. So like there's a different menu highlight, there's a different Lotus ka alag highlight hoga. So yeah, those are just a few things.
No, I feel like that's absolutely amazing. And I think I came across, like, I was reading the flavors and all of those as well. And I feel like you've had these delectable, like, names given to every flavor, like Luscious Lotus and stuff like that. So, well, that's definitely amazing. So, while I was reviewing your Instagram, I also noticed that you've dealt with, like, you take corporate orders as well, and you've sort of dealt with corporate clients. So, Pazirish, can you share your experience with dealing with corporate clients out there?
I mean, it is definitely a I mean, given the scale of my business, dealing with corporate clients is a little challenging sometimes.
Absolutely.
Because I usually run the business on my own. I would say I have a very small team. I wouldn't say I have a very big team or anything of that sort. So I have some help. तो corporate orders के साथ जब मैं deal करती हूँ, I have to make sure that I'm, because obviously the quantity volume बढ़ जाता है, so I need to make sure that the quality is not compromised. I need to make sure that I'm delivering to whatever the client wants from me. And obviously because it's a corporate order, तो उनकी expectations भी ज़्यादा होती हैं, and I have to deliver to those. And I'm a student myself, so I also really need to figure out the whole schedule, the logistics and वो सारी चीज़ें before I actually take the order. But it is always a very fulfilling experience. It is the days that go into making the ice cream for the corporate orders are really, really challenging. They're very long and tiring, but it's always worth it in the end. So.
Well, definitely. So I feel like, let's move on to our next question from extracting from your answer that you said, you're a working student, and like it must be hard sort of balancing your personal life, balancing, the work that you do at Pazzees. So how do you sort of balance, navigate through, doing your work chores as well as, carrying out your university assignments, everything at the same time?
That's a very good question. I don't have a formula for that, because normally it's just like, jab mujhe, like I know that when I have a lot of assignments, when I have my exams coming up, I cannot take a lot of orders. So I will put that on a pause for a second. I try my best to be very regular. So I will set like 1 or 2 days per week where I do make the ice cream. So I make it usually in like a bulk or like in a bigger quantity. Taki phir wo mera, like throughout the week, it sort of goes on. So that is something I think I try to manage my days accordingly. So I know if Saturday I have to make ice cream, then I can't go out with my family. But I think the best thing about working for yourself is that you get to choose whenever you don't want to work. So if I have a lot on my plate, I just don't take orders then. So that's convenient like that.
Yeah, fair. That totally makes sense. And like I feel like like my next question to you would be, because you sort of dealt with corporate clients, and it's harder for smaller businesses to sort of integrate themselves into the corporate client space. So, like how do you think, small businesses, or what steps can small businesses primarily take to integrate themselves into event planning platforms, or, like actually cater to bigger and corporate like clients, and not just corporate clients, but also like at formal events like weddings perhaps?
Okay, I think number one would be that you really listen to what the client wants. Like you are constantly revising your strategy, revising your, not just strategies, but what you're offering, what product you have. For example, in my case, what flavors I have, what packaging, what SKUs, everything. I need to constantly keep it in check so that it's like, if a corporate client or if someone is interested in giving like wants me to cater to an event, so at least they have a lot of options. So number one would be that, to listen to what the customers want and to offer that range to them. Apart from that, I think also you need to think out of the box. You need to be very creative. There's obviously a lot of competition. If someone's coming to me for ice cream, they'll probably find some other place with cheaper ice cream as well. So how exactly am I differentiating myself? What am I bringing to the table? So you need to make sure that you have established that sort of name for yourself, and also you are offering that something special to them. So in terms of packaging, in terms of quality, in terms of how you deal with the clients, even the kind of relationship you have with them. So I think those are a few things that you need to keep in mind if you really want big orders, that they should feel very natural and organic.
Yeah. So you mentioned about the something special factor. So what's that something special factor for Pazzees? Like, like what's the one USP that sort of you feel sort of helps you stand out from the other businesses out there?
I think I would say my texture for sure. My texture is very different compared to commercial ice creams. Even like, so I don't know if you've noticed, but there are a lot of ice cream businesses, but there are not a lot of home-based ice cream businesses. And obviously home-based is a good alternative to commercial ice creams and stuff, because I don't have preservatives, like my ice cream doesn't have preservatives, and I make sure that it's like very hygienic. It's very it's obviously, because it's a small scale business right now. I'm the one who's handling it, so I get to sort of manage each and every aspect of the business, of the product. So I think that is what sets my dessert businesses.
So, Pazirish, my next question to you would be, considering the collaborative nature of events, how do you see Pazzees working hand in hand with event planners to sort of cater to the wedding settings or, like corporate gatherings, perhaps be it a convocation at a university and stuff like that?
I think I would definitely want to start doing more events. I have been doing some events, like very small scale events, like for university and stuff. But if I were to work with event planners, I do see myself, I do see that happening sometime in the future. I would want to start with like small scale events. So ideally birthdays or nikah or engagement or something like that, because it's easier to start from a smaller event. I feel like because the scale of my business is still quite small. I would want to maintain the quality of my product, because one thing that I've noticed is, I don't know if you've probably noticed this too. Okay, there are a lot of businesses that are doing really well, but once they go on the event like sort of level, like once there are a lot of pop-ups as well, right? So once they start doing such events, the quality is usually compromised because it doesn't match their scale, or it's just something they can't deliver. So that's something I think I would want to avoid. So I would want to start with small scale events. I would want it to be a very exclusive experience for people, for my clients. So let's say if it's a birthday, I would want there to be like a very interactive ice cream sundae making bar or something. So yeah, I want it to be like a whole experience for my client, instead of just me giving out ice cream, because everyone can do that.
Well, absolutely, I think. Yeah. So Pazirish, it's all about the experience. Like, I totally agree. Like, the experience is what makes an event memorable. So my question to you would be, do you feel like you need any assistance from the event planners to make sure that whatever you want is easily integrated into a wedding setting or like a corporate event setting? Because again, a relationship is two-way. Both the stakeholders need to work hand in hand to ensure an event being successful. So is there anything like any sort of special assistance that you require from event planners to be able to assist you?
So if we're talking about small scale businesses or niche businesses, even if they have like a very good product, they don't have the scale to cater to events, right? More often than not. So one thing that I think event planners could help these businesses with would be assisting them. So they could probably have like a whole team set up to provide assistance or to provide support to these small businesses. So for example, in my case, I often struggle with the transportation of let's say the freezer. So if I'm catering to an event, I would need somebody to support me when it comes to delivery, when it comes to electricity. I would need electricity to run the freezer. So I've had one really bad experience when it comes to that, because the person who was actually handling the event, she wasn't able to ensure that this freezer was working properly, and my ice creams obviously melted by the time that the event went live. So I think that is something that could be avoided if there's a proper team dedicated to ensuring that these businesses have the support that they need to deliver their product.
Yeah, I think that perhaps also brings us to my next question, which is about, like you indicated one example of an instance where you faced a challenge or a hurdle. So running a small business is definitely challenging, a lot more challenging than it is to run bigger businesses out there, because obviously challenges are different. But can you run us through certain hurdles or some hurdles or challenges that Pazzees has faced and how you've sort of dealt with them?
Okay, I think the first big challenge would be that I started during COVID. So obviously there was a lot that was going on at that time. Like I had to wash each and everything that I brought home from the grocery, from the store. So that was one problem. It was really hard to deal with the riders. It was really hard to deal with the customers even.
Yeah.
It was a difficult time for everybody, right? And procuring raw materials, even like the packaging that I have. So I have biodegradable craft paper tubs, right? So those aren't available in Pakistan, they're imported. So for me to procure them, for me to find them, it was such a huge challenge. It took me a very long time. So I think that was a very big challenge during that time. Abhi, the problem is again the same, that because I use a lot of imported products for my ice cream, the prices have just been increasing like every other day, right?
Yeah.
Because of the economy and stuff. So I really have to think a lot about when I'm supposed to revise my prices. I don't want to do that, but you have to end up doing that to match up the. So that is another challenge. Number 3, I would say, because I'm a student myself. So again, the thing that we talked about, work-life balance, it does get a little hard. Sometimes I'm also doing an internship. So apart from uni, I also have an internship to go to. I also have to manage ice cream, and also like my family and friends and everything. So it does get a little hard. Another challenge I would say in Pakistan, I've just noticed that they don't take young women seriously. You know, like for me, at least during the initial years, riders wouldn't take me seriously, vendors wouldn't take me seriously, and I wouldn't say I'm a rude person or I'm a mean person. I just want a very nice relationship with whoever I'm working with, but that didn't work for me. So I had to sort of be more assertive. I had to learn how to be even like how to be more assertive to get what I want. So that is another challenge that I think I face, but I think that's I have been able to navigate that now.
No, absolutely. I feel like all of these challenges are just like not just specific to your business, but all are like, businesses, smaller scale businesses that are out there running from Instagram. And again, there's a lot of competition. So standing out and, coming to be there and establishing yourself as a business out there is definitely like very, very instrumental. So Pazirish, running a small business has a lot of like several turning points. And, just a journey of a small business also has like a lot of turning points. So what was that one moment or like that one instance where you sort of found out that, oh, Pazzees has made it, like Pazzees is just truly something exceptional now, like it's made it as like a business?
I think I woke up one day and I opened my phone, and a lot of people had sent me this article from Dawn, I think, Dawn or Sunday Times, and it was about my ice cream, and I had no idea because I hadn't given any interview or I didn't really speak about it, but I think someone tried my ice cream, an editor or something, and it was a very, very nice article. It was about a little about me, about my business and all of those things, and I think that is the point when I think it was back in 2021 or 2022, so it was during the first year of my business, which was still quite soon, I would say. So I think that was the turning point for me. That made me feel like, okay, it's not just my friends and family and customers who think that way. It's like, it's a bigger, like everybody thinks that my ice cream is good. So I think that gave me some validation.
That's amazing. I think it's time for us to try your ice cream already.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Pazirish, the food industry is generally like extremely like competitive. And again, like we have been talking about that, back and forth, that if home-based businesses, the competition is definitely like a lot more because, a lot of businesses are coming and emerging day by day. So other than the social media presence for Pazzees, what other strategies do you employ in order to ensure that, your home-based business is actually, standing out from the crowd?
Okay, so number one, I would say influencer marketing, as I spoke about it before, but I wouldn't go deeper into that because I, again, feel like it's something that a lot of people already do. So it's not something that would set me apart. It's just something that helps me get a very original, a very natural opinion to people. Like someone who, with a lot of followers, with a good following, with the kind of following that I need, would try my ice cream and they would endorse it to their followers. Apart from that, I think I also come up with like seasonal campaigns. I come up with like offers and deals. I make sure that so for example, for Eid, I have these Sunday boxes, which are like 4 tubs with toppings and sauces and spoons and cards and everything. So that is very, very, that's like a very running item for me. So apart from that, Mother's Day ho gaya, or any special event, So I make sure that I have some deals going out. I have some new products going out during that time. So that is something that sort of keeps my creative juices flowing. I make sure that something or the other is always there. Apart from that, I think I make sure that I have a very good relationship with my customers. So I know that this customer will order ice cream for her friend. Like I have a lot of customers that I remember. I remember that, okay, this is a returning customer. She's going to probably order for her friend who just got a wisdom tooth extraction. So, I mean, the point is that I am very attentive to what my customer needs. I try my best to adapt my strategies and like I try my best to accommodate them basically. So I know that so sometimes it is obviously a little harder because you have to do a lot of customizations for them. You have to go out of your way to sort of deliver to what the customer wants. So like I don't do like specific packaging or anything, but for example, if a customer is not in Pakistan, which is what usually happens, my customers who are not in Pakistan, they've asked me to deliver my ice cream to their family or their friends on Eid, on birthdays, special occasions, whatever that is. So they want me to write a note, a customized note. They want me to make a customized flavor sometimes, come up with like a different kind of packaging. So I try my best to listen to them, and I try my best to deliver to that. That is how I have loyal customers, and the reviews that I get is what keeps me going. Like it's very fulfilling.
Absolutely. I feel like it's the attention to detail and things like this that make the experience worth it. And, definitely, like, that's very, very crucial. So, okay, Pazirish, you're talking about event catering. So could you run us or tell us the step-by-step approach that you would follow if you're reached out by a caterer, an event planner, to sort of set up a dessert catering service for a particular wedding or like a corporate event, like a convocation or something like that?
Okay, I think number one, I would try to figure out what the scale of the event is. So is it like a wedding for 1,000 people? Is it like a birthday party? Is it an engagement? Is it a mehndi? So that is something that would be my first ever question. How many people are we expecting, and when is it? And what's the scale of the event? Like, what are you looking for essentially? Then I would focus on the logistics. So for example, where is the event? Will I be able to deliver? Will I be able to arrange the staff? Will I have electricity to run my freezer? Will I have like the right kind of support from my family? Is everybody free? Yeah. There are a lot of things that I'll have to think about, and then I'll come to the ideation process. So for example, what can I offer to them? So not just ice cream in like plastic cups, maybe what something out of the box. Even if that's something they're not asking for, I would give them a few options. Okay, this is what I was thinking. If we're doing a dessert bar, maybe, maybe we could do like an ice cream, like I said, an ice cream Sunday setup. If it's for kids, if it's a nikah, then maybe we could do like small giveaways of like smaller tubs, with like customized packaging.
Oh, yeah,
so
cute.
I have a lot of ideas. They're just randomly there somewhere in my head. So whenever a client comes to me, I can present them with sort of options as to what we can do. Then I would figure out. Then I would divide my time. Like I'm a very organized person when it comes to work. So I will make sure that 2 days would be for calculating, budgeting, and all of those things. 2 days would be to procure all the raw material. 3 days I'll make the ice cream. 2 days packaging. Then I will deliver it. And I think, this would be like a step-by-step procedure. And I will make sure, one thing that I always try to do is that I make sure that the client or whoever I'm working with, whoever is involved, for example, the event planner as well as the client, they're all involved with the whole process with me. So I let them know that this is when I'll be able to deliver. These are the ideas that I have. This is how much time I need. This is what I can offer. Like, this is with like the after the whole budgeting and everything, this is what I can offer. So I make sure that they're updated with everything. They're a part of every step of the procedure. So.
Well, that's amazing. Making sure all the stakeholders go hand in hand is definitely like very, very important. Crucial. Absolutely. And I feel like everyone being on the same page is what will make the client happy towards the end of the day, which is the end goal.
And it's
and
like,
the personalized experience is what the end goal definitely is for the client.
Because it's a special day. It's anybody's like. I'm also a consumer at some point, right? I also go to different places to get my needs met. So when you do that, you obviously want whoever you're working with to listen to what you need, to actually put in like that effort to understand you, not just like a business thing that they're just, So I make sure that I do that I'm offering a personalized, a very careful experience curated for them only.
That's definitely very, very important, and I'm sure you would definitely do that in the future, most so, definitely. So, Pazirish, like my next question for you would be that there's a lot of like corporate events or corporate not events more so, but you said you've catered to corporate clients, right? So, could you run us through a memorable incident or like a memorable story or experience which you had with like a corporate client?
So I think this was my first corporate order. So what happened was that I just launched my Sunday boxes, and I think I went and after like posting a pic, I did a whole 1 hour session of that box, and then I posted a picture, and then I think I went for a shower or I went to do something, and I was like, I mean, it would be so cool if I get like a corporate order someday. And then I come out and I check my phone and I get a call from a client. And so he was an old client of mine. He was a CEO of a company. And he called me and he was like, I want to do like I want to do like 500 tubs. Would you be able to do that in like 2 days? And I am a practical person, but I'm also more like, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll figure out the logistics. I'll do it. And I was like, sure. I mean, just tell me when do you want it delivered. And then I spoke to him about a few things like, okay, I'll make the delivery in a span of 3 days because I mean, that's my capacity, my freezer capacity and my capacity, because that was also during Ramadan. So, you know, that I had 8 a.m. classes. I had, I think I had my exams going on. Yeah, because it was around May, June. I had my exams going on. It was Ramadan. And I had to make 500 tubs of ice cream in 2 days without any help because I couldn't get help in such a small span of time. So what I did was that I then took the order. I made it work. Like I just did everything in 2 days. And it was extremely tiring because I used to stay up till 6 a.m. So I remember my dadi came to the kitchen when I was making ice cream at 10 p.m. when she was going to sleep, and then she woke up at 7 a.m. and then she came to the kitchen, and I was in the exact same position. Like I was just standing and I was making ice cream. She was like, "Did you just like sleep and wake up?" I was like, "No, I've been here like throughout." So and I didn't even realize it. Like I had my AirPods on.
Fulfilling.
It was very fulfilling. It was also very overwhelming. I remember because at one point, like you don't know, okay, will I mean, you do doubt yourself sometimes. And I was like, okay, I remember I was crying at one point and I was just so tired. I was crying with tears and I had no reason to cry, but I was just crying because I was tired. But once it was done, and then I had to go to, I think Eid was 2 days later. Yeah, it was just the best Eid of my life because I felt so fulfilled and I just powered off my phone and I was like, I don't want to deal with anybody right now. I'm just done with.
And I feel like it's moments like these when you set benchmarks for yourself as well as for your business, and you're like, oh, the next time I get something like this, I need to do even better, even bigger. So most definitely, I feel like that totally makes sense. So Pazirish, you also mentioned something about your studies, and I found out that you're a psychology major. So what allowed you, or just generally, how do you feel that as a psychology major yourself, you were able to run a successful business? Have you been in sort of marketing roles before, and how are you able to execute everything so effectively?
I haven't been in any marketing roles before, like especially when I started my business. I didn't even have business in O levels or A levels. I had pure sciences and then I switched to psychology in my undergrad. I had zero like theoretical knowledge of business, of marketing and all of those things. It was everything that I've understood is from my practical experience. Everything that I've understood is from my practical experience, and also from the fact that I have actually spoken to a lot of people. So my brother was a business major and he has helped me through every stage of my business. He was, because a lot of things that I didn't really understand, he was the one who helped me figure out the let's say the logistics and the whole math behind it.
Yeah.
So I think that was very helpful. Speaking to more people, just putting yourself out there, giving yourself time to make mistakes even, it's not like I didn't make mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes, but I think every mistake I made, every conversation I had, every client I've dealt with, every decision I've made helped me like gain all of that knowledge. Now I actually don't feel like I don't have a business degree. I might not have the fancy words for what I'm doing, but I am doing it. So I think and this is also something that I also interned at Unilever recently. It was in a marketing role too, and I think the kind of work I was able to do there was only because of the kind of practical experience I have from my business, which just proves the point that what you do on the job is more important than what you do at university.
For sure.
So yeah, I think that
practical experience is what gets you the longer way. So Pazirish, just generally today people are very specific to detail, and they're also looking for sustainable alternatives. You mentioned something about biodegradable packaging for Pazzees. So is there any other sustainable or sustainability alternatives that you have in your business, or any elements of sustainability into Pazzees, just generally, because that would be helpful for corporate clients because that's what they're looking for?
I think for now, the only thing that I'm offering is sustainability in my packaging. So like, be it the paper bags that I use, or the packaging, the labels I use, or even the tubs that I use, they're all biodegradable. So that is something that I am very proud of. That is something that, honestly, plastic is a lot cheaper. Everyone knows
Absolutely,
that.
yeah.
And even procuring, especially now, because everything's like the prices are just going up. If I were to switch to plastic from craft paper, it would like reduce my cost to a very like a big extent. But I think that is just a decision that you have to make. And I think at this level, this is something that I'm doing. I know it's not big, but it's something.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like it's the small steps
Yeah,
that take
exactly.
you the longer
Small
way, for
steps.
sure. So, Pazirish, I feel like we've had so far a very insightful conversation delving deep into your journey and learning more about Pazzees. But now it's time to take things a little on the lighter side and, like talk a bit more about, your personal preferences about ice cream and a lot of other things. So now it's our rapid fire segment. We're going to be having a rapid fire. And, are you ready to sort of scoop up success and wisdom with us?
Yes.
Okay. So, my first question, the rapid fire Pazirish for you would be, if you could have a business-related superpower, what would it be?
I think doing things quicker, like faster.
Okay.
I just want to if I make ice cream in 3 hours, I would want to make that in half an hour.
Okay,
That
cool.
would save a lot of time.
Yeah, cool. So, Pazirish, are you an early bird or a night owl when it comes to tackling business tasks?
I mean, I pull an all-nighter, so I don't know if that's an early bird or a night owl, because it goes
Night owl
through-
for sure,
Okay.
for sure, yeah. So, your top piece of advice for home-based businesses?
Be patient
Right.
and work hard.
Coffee or tea when it comes to dealing with business stress?
I think coffee.
Coffee, okay. So, biggest accomplishment of yours so far?
I think my HBL order.
Right. So, Facebook or Instagram, the better for
Instagram.
business? Right. The best piece of business advice that you've ever received?
The customer is always right.
Absolutely. I feel like that's something we've all learned. So, favorite way to relax after a busy, or favorite way to unwind after a busy day or work?
I usually just get in my bed, I put on a good show, I light up a candle, and I have ramen. So that's it.
Okay, that's cute. If you could trade places with a fictional entrepreneur for like a day, what would it be?
That's a good question.
A fictional person or an existing entrepreneur?
I think the one person that comes to my mind for some reason is this girl, Kate from Working Moms. I don't know if you've seen that show. She's a very cool girl. Like she has her own business and she has...
Pazirish would fit into the cool girl vibe because you already are one as well, for sure. So, dessert catering or corporate gathering catering? For sure. For corporate events or for weddings, which one's better?
I think weddings. I would like to do weddings.
Weddings? For sure. So, what's the quirkiest ice cream flavor suggestion that you've ever received? Have you received any?
I've received a lot. I think rainbow. Like someone just said, I want a rainbow ice cream. Like
There
not a
is
flavor
rainbow
rainbow.
sorbet ice cream that exists.
Really,
already.
I have no idea. I've never seen one.
Oh,
I've
that's
never had
interesting.
one.
Rainbow would be like definitely very
Yeah, it
interesting.
would be interesting, but I'm
down to
not
try
sure
it.
how do you make that.
Yeah. So, if Pazzees was a song, which would it be?
I think it would be a song called Vacation. I don't know why, because I listen to it when I'm making ice cream.
I mean, like, ice cream is therapeutic for you and like
Yes.
vacation.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Totally. So, if you could create an ice cream flavor inspired by a famous celebrity, who would it be and what would that flavor be called? I'm interested to know about this one.
That's a very good question, but I think it would be, what's her name? Blake Lively, and it would be vanilla. I don't have a vanilla flavor, but I don't know why I said vanilla.
You don't
but
have a
I think-
vanilla flavor?
I
Oh,
love
that-
her, but I don't know why I said vanilla. But yeah, vanilla. I
Okay,
don't know, that reminds me of
fair,
her.
that makes sense. So, Pazirish, now this particular thing is going to be an ice cream quickfire in which I'm going to be asking you just your ice cream preferences.
Okay.
It could be related to your business or just generally your personal preferences. So, and you have to be very quick in your answers, okay? So, vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Waffle cone or sugar cone?
Waffle cone.
You can't take the time to do the
Okay,
because
sorry.
You have to be extremely quick. Hot fudge or caramel sauce?
Hot fudge.
Sprinkles or nuts?
Nuts.
Sorbet or gelato?
Gelato.
Okay, favorite ice cream topping?
Chocolate chip.
Okay. Ice cream sandwich or ice cream sundae?
Sunday.
Mint chocolate chip or cookie dough?
Cookie dough.
Best ice cream flavor you've ever created at Pazzees?
Strawberry cheesecake.
Ice cream in a cup or cone for
Cone.
yourself? Cone.
Cone.
Okay, fair. I'm a cone girl too. So
Same.
yeah, twinning. So Pazirish, I think you performed really well at the rapid fire round, and now
That's
it's
my hamper.
For sure, we're gonna arrange that for the next time. We're gonna have a hamper ready for you. And Pazirish, now we've had the rapid fire, and I feel like you performed amazingly at it. And now it's time for us to come back to the serious topics
Okay.
again and talk about the future. And now it's gonna be more serious because we're gonna be talking about the future of Pazzees, and I'm sure you're very passionate to talk about that as well. So my question to you, Pazirish, would be: what are your future plans for Pazzees, and are there any exciting expansion possibilities or anything like that you have in store for Pazzees?
I mean, I think I definitely want to give more time to Pazzees once I'm done with my university. So I have a couple of plans. For example, I would want to probably set up a stall or a shop or an ice cream truck or something like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I mean, that is, I don't have the time for it right now. So definitely after I've graduated, which is in May, so I'm quite close.
Yeah.
Yes, and I want to do more events. I want to. I have a lot of offers from people who they want me to do their wedding or birthdays or something. I just don't have the time for it. I haven't had the time for it, but I want to make more time for it now. So that is, I think that's another thing.
Absolutely. So my next question, you can sort of draw parallels to this one, but how do you see your business evolving in the next few years? Like, do you see yourself having an ice cream store, or you mentioned about the card, but do you see yourself running an ice cream store in the city or in different cities?
Yes, I do. I do see myself running an ice cream store. I still need to figure out a few things. For example, do I just want it to be ice cream, or do I want it to be like a dessert place?
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be like just another ice cream place. I want it to be very, as I mentioned before, I want it to be like an experience. So I want to be very creative with my outlet, with the kind of activities I have, what offers I have. So there are a few things that I need to figure out, but I definitely see it. I see it going somewhere, and my family sees it going somewhere. They're always after me. Give us, just do something with it now.
Yeah.
So I think yes. I do see it going somewhere.
Absolutely. So now that we're talking about your future store, inshallah, or just generally an ice cream cart, could you tell us a bit about the kind of aesthetics that you'd want in that particular ice cream store, an ice cream cart? Have you thought about it? If not, that's completely fine.
I haven't thought about it, but I want it to be something very cute, something very maybe pink. I don't know. It's just.
What about pastel colors?
Yeah, something like that, pastel or pink or blue. Yellow maybe. I wanted to have like some neon lights. I wanted to be like a very cute, a very small space, but a very cute place where people could just come and hang out. Like I know I've noticed this, that especially in Karachi, what we usually do is that we, whenever we have to hang out with our friends, we usually have to go for like full meals, and sometimes you don't want to do that. Like you don't want to, you don't want to spend too much, and you don't want to like have like proper 3-course meal. So I just wanted to be like a small place where people could come and chill and hang out and just like unwind after a long day. That's it.
Yeah, like a cozy space.
Exactly,
like for sure.
A safe space. Like
yeah, I mean, I'd be totally down to like have such an experience, like, for sure. Okay, so Pazirish, I think we've had back and forth conversations about, like you doing catering for like a wedding. So suppose you start catering for events in the future, which you most definitely would, and you're catering an intimate wedding. So what would the steps be, or how do you envision Pazzees organizing a dessert bar? Like, could you tell us about the items that you would have in like a dessert bar that you're having? Like, you mentioned something about the ice cream sundae, like, make your own sundae or something like that. So could you run us a bit through that?
I think, so I would want, like I feel like when there are a lot of options for dessert at weddings, you usually, I mean, it sort of confuses you. So if it is, let's say, ice cream, but I wouldn't want to limit it to ice cream, just ice cream. So probably a lot of flavors of ice cream with a lot of toppings, sauces. You get to pick cone between a cone and a cup. You get to make it yourself. So it's more like an activity. But again, I think it depends on the scale of the wedding, how big the wedding is, what does the client want? Do they just want it to be like a simple, a cute, like I could also, so I usually have like 16 ounces tub, right? So what another thing that I could do is, and it's something that I've already done with somebody else's, with a client's birthday, is that I did those smaller tubs, which are craft paper tubs, brown tubs, smaller tubs with like a personalized lid. So the lid had their name and their birthday and their date and everything written on it, and it was and they could just hand that out instead of, let's say, birthday favors or nikah favors for that matter. So that could be another, it'll be a very hassle-free alternative to making a Sunday yourself, but it depends on what the client wants, how interactive they want it to be. Is it a fun wedding? Is it a elegant wedding? So I think, yeah.
For sure. So, this question was really specific to the intimate wedding setups, definitely. And my next question for you would be, if you're dealing with like a larger wedding setup, what do you think would complement the ice cream stall already? Like, what would be the specific dessert options that you would be providing in a larger setting? Because again, you're so right about the fact that there's multiple options or there's too much variety available that confuses the client, and you would not want that to happen, especially for like a larger setting. So what would your approach be, Pazirish?
I think, yeah, but when we're talking about larger settings, people have a lot of different preferences, so it would only be fair to take all of those into account. So I think I would think of things that would go with ice cream. So for example, brownie. I make really good. I have a flavor called fudge brownie ice cream, and everyone who's had my fudge brownie ice cream is always like, could you also make fudge brownie, like just brownie? I'm like, I can't do that right now, but like it is a good option because the brownie that I make, it's really, I love that brownie. Even I love that brownie. So I think offering alternatives to ice cream would be brownie. You could have it without ice cream. You could have it with ice cream. You could have cookies. I personally love cookies. So I think, yeah, brownies and cookies would be a good option.
For sure. I feel like we've been talking so much about dessert that the next thing, it's like mouth-watering dessert that we're talking about. So the next thing that I'm having after this podcast is definitely a dessert for sure. So Pazirish, we're sort of like nearing the end of our podcast, but my question to you, the last question for you would be, do you have any advice for aspiring young entrepreneurs that are coming, or, especially those entrepreneurs that are willing to start or are running existing small-scale businesses from home?
I think the one piece of advice I would give would be that be persistent, be very patient with the kind of work that you're doing. I think one problem with our generation is that we want quick results. If we're doing something, we just want immediate results. We just want, if we're launching a business, we just want like 1,000 followers in a day, and we want good sales, and we want regular sales. That's just not how it works. You have to constantly put in, especially having your own business, you have to put in a lot of work every day. You don't have like fixed working hours, 9 to 5. You have to literally put your heart and soul into it. So yeah, I think that is one thing. Another thing I would say is that if you are thinking of starting a business, just go for it. I've seen a lot of people who are just trying so hard to figure out the nitty-gritties, the logistics and everything, and they forget that you can plan only so much. I mean, it's good to have a plan, but once you start, that's when things start flowing. You can't just you can't be 100% ready to start a business. You have to start somewhere. You have to give yourself time. And the worst thing that could happen, what's the worst that can happen? You're probably going to fail. It's not going to do well. Big deal. You move on. So I think, yeah, you need to be more brave when it comes to these.
I think that would be like the perfect note to sort of end our conversation, that failures is what keeps you going, because life is all about failures, and failures are what leads you to success. So Pazirish, just the last, not a question, but this is like an interesting session that we have with our guests, where we ask our guests to sort of recommend 2 to 3 favorite songs from their playlist. These in your case could be relating to ice cream, not relating to ice cream. Any songs do you listen to while you're creating ice creams, or any songs of your personal preferences? 2 to 3, share them with our listeners, and yeah, we'd love to hear them.
Okay, I think there's this song "Better When I'm Dancing" by Megan Trainor. It's a very upbeat song. I think it's a very old song, but I don't know. I just my phone was on autoplay once, and I just heard that, and I just listen to it every time I make ice cream. Because I'm on my feet all the time, like when I'm making ice cream. I don't sit and make ice cream, so it just helps me. So I'm dancing and making ice cream. Another one would be Vacation, as I mentioned before. I think it's by Dirty Heads. These are the 2 songs that.
That's great. I'm definitely giving them a listen after this podcast for sure. Thank you so much, Pazirish, for being here on the show. We loved having you. I hope you had a great time as well. Thanks for the conversation. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.